Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel. Hope you're all doing well. Today I'll be giving some of my own thoughts and opinions on the state of the stock market and where the market is headed in the coming months through summer and into the end of 2020. Before I get too deep into this video, I want to preface this with that this is not a political channel by nature. We're really focused on finance, the economy, and the market. But obviously the market does not exist by its own in a bubble. There are other world factors, public health factors, political factors that all influence what's going on in the economy. So I'm going to try to keep this focused on the market and the effect that non-economic events have on the market, and we're just going to go from there. So we all know back in early March, the market really took a beating, dropped dramatically during that time, and ever since then, we've been kind of wondering, when will we retest those lows, if at all? You can find tons of analysts and experts that have said consistently that yes, we're due to go back down, a second drop is incoming, we're retesting the March lows, but so far they've all been wrong. We haven't done so yet. This past week, the S&P 500 crossed over that 3,000 mark. We're right back where we were early this year and late last year, and it looks like the recovery is well underway, with a lot of states that have already opened up to more normal business operations, with shopping centers and restaurants opening back up. And even the most restrictive states such as New York and California have also begun opening up in some of the less impacted areas. And even in the higher impact areas like Los Angeles, restaurants are slated to open up very soon. So with all of this good news, and in addition, looking at the travel and hospitality industry, the casinos have seen a great bump from this, Vegas reopening plans. And just personally, last weekend I drove by a local Southern California casino and there was a 3-hour line just to get in. I think it was only open to VIP members, but the line was insane. There were cars going out of the parking lot onto the streets right off the freeway exit. So that gives you a sense of the demand that we could expect to see in Vegas once they open up over there as well. Companies such as Lululemon literally having a V-shaped recovery with expectations that they will come out of this better than where they started. They've already blown past all-time highs. Same with other casino stocks, Penn National Gaming. We've seen that V-shaped recovery on the stock chart, and there are no signs of slowing down. And as we all know, certain events have happened in the United States over the past week or so, both online, on social media, and in person. We'll begin with President Trump's attacks on the technology industry after Twitter fact-checked 2 of his tweets related to mail-in voting for the upcoming November elections, with Trump signing an executive order claiming that social media companies are violating a certain right. So whether or not this will be legally enforceable will be seen, but we do know there will be a lengthy legal battle forthcoming, and how this affects the social media industry and technology businesses is yet to be seen. If it is successful, it could be dealing a blow to the control that these companies have over their platforms. Not sure too much yet on the impact it will have on investors. That's still to be seen, but there is a lot of noise and chatter in that space. On the other hand, protests have popped up all over the United States, with the president also chipping in on Twitter with some crazy tweets. And we don't know if this situation will keep on escalating. And all of this goes back and what I was talking about, focusing on the market effects. In terms of the market, we talked about how investors are feeling confident that businesses are opening up, states are opening up, people are going out, hopefully spending more despite the unemployment numbers. They're hoping that people will be able to get those jobs back, and that the spread of the pandemic has slowed down to a manageable and tolerable level. But with this recent activity, mass gatherings outside, where certain public health procedures are probably not being followed as closely as they could be. We don't know yet if this will have a result in contributing to the spread of the coronavirus. With states that opened up a couple weeks ago, the numbers are still waiting to come out to see the effect on case numbers in those states. But there's also been a lot of controversy over how those numbers have been reported, with certain local health departments being seemingly shut down and barred from releasing numbers. For example, in Florida, and also with how health departments are categorizing corona cases versus pneumonia cases and discounting certain cases of people that don't live in the state or based on other factors. The reporting of those numbers looks like it is skewed as far as we can tell. And with the political activism and movement, I'm not telling people that they shouldn't go out, exercise their right to free speech and freedom of protest and standing up for what they believe in. But from a health perspective and the perspective on the market, we see that if this does contribute to another uptick in coronavirus cases and states have to be put back into lockdown, or if state or federal authorities take a more heavy-handed approach at handling the situation. We saw some pretty dangerous tweets coming out of President Trump. Don't know how that's going to play out. But if those things do happen, we could definitely see an escalation of these protests over the events that happened. And this is speculation, but I'm confident that by enacting martial law or having a more militarized, weaponized presence in these areas will only add fuel to the fire. From an economic standpoint, this is obviously not good for local businesses who may be forced to shut down in fear of violence spilling over from the protests. And also, if businesses have to close or if cities and states have to go back into shutdown, more and more people will be unemployed. And those who are unemployed will just be worse and worse off. With the initial extension to unemployment and that extra $600 a week bonus expiring soon in the upcoming months, we see that a lot of people will have more time on their hands, might be a little bit more politically active as they would otherwise be if they were employed and working at jobs. But now they have more free time. They've decided to go out and exercise their right to stand up for what they believe in. So I guess to summarize and wrap this all up, the point of this video is to say that from the economic side, the past couple weeks have looked pretty good. With the reopening plans rolling out, companies trying to get back to normal, people trying to go out, consume more, boost the economy back up. All of this optimism and faith is built on the possibility of reopening back to normal. But as with what happened during the first crash, that black swan event, the really unknown, the event that can bring in a lot of uncertainty in the markets and with investors, if things get worse, if things spiral out of control, that could very well be the next black swan event that leads to the second leg down or the second crash and see us retesting March lows. And this is not something that I would look forward to, but is something that could very well be possible given the certain political and economic climate that we're in. So just a warning, before you go out there and reinvest all your money into the market, thinking that stocks can only go up from here, the pandemic is canceled, everything is over, think about some of the potential consequences that we could have down the road. And this isn't even touching upon the corporate debt crisis or the student loan crisis or any of the other underlying issues that people have been talking about for months now. Those more economic and systematic issues are in place and have been in place for some time now. We're talking about some new possible impacts as it could affect the markets and consumer confidence moving forward. But I'm really curious to hear what you guys think about what's going on. What are your outlooks on the markets in the near future or a couple months down the road? Do you think it will get better, or do you think it will just get more volatile with what's going on in the country? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. But if you thought this video was useful, able to explain a couple things, please give this a like. Really appreciate the support. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, please do so already. Hit that subscribe button with the notifications. But thanks so much for watching. Stay safe out there. Peace out.